This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, everybody. This is Dr. Doug Smith. It's Wednesday at 1 o'clock. It's time for our Monday through Thursday 1 o'clock podcast. We try to keep these podcasts short, just 6, 7, 8 minutes long for the most part. And we keep them short because we're pushing out an enormous amount of scientific information. And science is best absorbed in small pieces. And science is best understood when it's heard repetitively. So, that being said, let's jump right in. We are still going through page by page the citizens petition that we filed that the FDA published on regulations.gov. What we're talking about now is the scientific evidence for buprenorphine as an antidote for the symptoms that our people experience after they've been genetically damaged by the opioids and when they try to stop taking the opioids. Past couple of days, we've looked at scientific evidence that even after one dose, just one dose, okay, when people were sick, if they just took one dose of buprenorphine, they felt dramatically better. Okay, and we showed the evidence, 2 hours after just a single dose of buprenorphine, they went from being very sick to feeling a whole lot better. And what we're looking at today is the scientific evidence. What happens when you leave people on buprenorphine? Not just one dose, but one dose a day chronically for a long time. And if you look at the screen in front of you, you see there's 4 charts, one stacked on top of each other. The very top chart, that's our people when they're sick, when they're in withdrawal, when they're experiencing the symptoms of the genetic poisoning. And things that are abnormal, we put in gray. And as you can see on top, there's a lot of gray. They feel bad. They're craving an opioid to feel better. Their symptoms are horrendous. They cannot describe the symptoms. And in fact, by graying this out, we're trying to give our people the ability to communicate just how bad they felt. It's not possible for someone who has never experienced opioid withdrawal to understand the depth of the horror that these people have experienced. The next one down, the second chart there, that's our people 2 hours after one dose of buprenorphine, and you can see a lot of the gray is gone. Okay, one dose. Go down one more chart, third chart down. That's our people after weeks and weeks and weeks of buprenorphine. They're back to normal. By the way, normal is the bottom row there. The bottom row there, that's people who are opioid naive. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot of difference between the third and fourth charts. People chronically stabilized on buprenorphine are pretty much back to normal. They're back to being themselves. They go back to their families. They go back to work. They go back to what they were doing. Okay, the horror is over. All right, there are some subtle differences. If you notice on the third chart down there on the left, you see a few little gray squares. Even our people chronically stabilized on buprenorphine had some abnormal adrenaline levels, catecholamine levels, epinephrine levels. There's one in there for over 650, which is 10 times normal. That really catches my eye, and that's a concern. That would suggest that even when our people are chronically stabilized on buprenorphine, they're still suffering the consequences of the genetic damage. That's something we're trying to get the FDA to take a look at. But that's what we want to talk about today, was look at that chart in front of you. Our people, when you put them on buprenorphine long-term, weeks, months, they basically return to normal. That's how effective buprenorphine is as an antidote. It's a fantastic antidote. It's a wonderful antidote. And it raises a question, why aren't all these people who have been genetically damaged on buprenorphine? And the answer is because they haven't been recognized as being genetically damaged. That's the challenge before us, and that's what we're trying to break through. They have not been recognized as being genetically damaged. That's the challenge before us. So take a look at that chart. That is the some of the scientific evidence for why buprenorphine should be used as an antidote for the genetic poisoning. It's clear as day. Again, just to make sure you understand it, you're looking at 4 charts stacked on top of each other. The very top chart is our people when they're sick. They're not taking buprenorphine. They're not taking an opioid. They're not taking anything. In fact, these were people on day 3 of a sickness, day 3 of not taking anything. And you can see how horrendously sick they are. The second chart down, that's the same people. It's the same 15 people. That's 15 people on top. And then it's the same 15 people 2 hours after one dose of buprenorphine. Look at the effectiveness of one dose of buprenorphine. Third chart down, that's people after weeks to months of being on buprenorphine, 16 milligrams a day. And they've basically gone back to normal. Normal is the bottom chart. Normal is people who are opioid naive. So it's right there in front of you. It's right there in front of you. Okay, it's hard to make it any clearer. If you understand these graphs, then you understand what's going on. Okay, there on top are our people when they're sick. Second one down is after one dose of buprenorphine. Third one down is after multiple doses of buprenorphine. And fourth one down is opioid naive people, people who aren't sick from not taking the opioids. And buprenorphine basically makes our people as close to normal as you can get right now. We're going to hold right here for today. My name is Dr. Doug Smith. Please like and subscribe us. We'll be back tomorrow. It's Thursday. Don't forget to post this video, this podcast on your social media and on everybody else's social media. And we'll see you guys back here tomorrow.